I gotta do something, so would you mind starting the intros real quick?
Okay. In the bottom right on Catalina, as the pink Zerg, pink Protoss, it's Jade.
Maybe it's not me. Maybe it's just the curse of whoever introduces first.
Maybe, man.
Alright, well, spawning here in the top right from Team Acer, he's trolling around a little bit. These guys seem to be in a surprisingly good mood. It is going to be Bly. But okay, so I feel, for Jade's sake, there's not like there's a lot of wrong moves made that game. He just played very standard, and Bly, he scouted it a mile away. The Overlords early on saw he got to get away with so much, and it's the best players we watch are the ones who are the best at hiding information, or who can play to the strength of a map, or can abuse X versus Y. And for Jade's sake, standard play isn't gonna cut it. It didn't work game number 1, and it certainly wouldn't work game number 2. He tried to do something a little bit different with that Immortal drop, but I mean that failed pretty miserably.
Yeah, well that's the thing about, like, I don't know what his plan was. I'm not that good of a Protoss. Like, if he was planning on maybe doing an Immortal Centurion, but realized that with the scouting it wasn't gonna happen and change his mind, or he had been planning just to play the Robo macro game. But we've talked about like the Robo macro game before, right? Or it just seems like it doesn't have a lot of pressure points. You know, if you go for Blink Stalkers, you have the Sentry move out. You have the Blink Stalker move out with +2 potentially. Like, there's a lot more things that they have to be scared of, I feel. And yes, having Blink Stalkers does help against immune transition as well. that might have helped too. But with the Robo, like, yeah, War Prism is your only bet. And if it gets shut down, then that's the only aggression you're going to have.
Well, those classic 6 Lings coming out pretty quick. He's scouted with the first Overlord, so he knows by consequence that down here is Jade.
Yes.
And Jade actually, by going for the really fast Nexus, is going to feel the burn of this pretty badly.
Yeah.
Like, this might end the game, maybe. I say maybe very tentatively, because he's not going to have a Zealot, he's not going to have gas to rush out a Mothership Core. He's...
If you... Okay, that's why he's...
Running with the wolves.
So, if you take too much damage initially, it does kind of like... It's a very small snowball, but since it's such an early part of the game, it feels like a really big one, you know? So it could happen that Jade's just like, okay, darn it, Bly got me again, tap out. But hopefully the situation is that he loses 1 or 2 probes over the course of like 2 minutes. He needs to do this. Oh, that hurts so much.
I just feel this should have been expected. You know, for most Zerg players, this is an uncommon opening. For a Bly opener, this is pretty standard and to be expected.
That wasn't a bad surround. He loses 3 probes. He forces out, quote unquote, a Zealot, because it is possible Jade was going to go for 2 Zealot aggression anyways. It really wasn't that bad. Obviously not game ending.
He's losing a lot of money though, just constantly having to pull probes.
That
I mean, when you pull 2 or 3 probes with a Zealot, that's actually not so bad. But if you pull an entire line of probes, even for just like 5 seconds, it can really hurt your income. This is some Indiana Jones shit here. The rock chasing him down the corridor right now. Looks like he will barely keep this alive. Nice.
Those Lings are smooth criminals, man. They're just like, oh, we're not going after you. We're just going through the mineral line. So this is super annoying, obviously. Got 2 Zealots. They can't chase. Chooses not to pull the probes. Oh, hey, Mothership. Hey. I thought that one Ling was going to survive and continue to deny Jade the option to, basically throw down a building. That's surprising.
Mothership, more like brothership, because that was such a bro move, saving all the probes. The probes! I don't know why I'm going like this. I'm just going to stop. It was one bad pun that escalated too far.
Just kept going, man. Couldn't stop yourself.
Well, we take a quick look at the income advantage right now. For Bly's sake, it is quite high. He got a drone count up, sure, but again, it was pretty much right around here when the probes started getting pulled, when he had to start dealing and dancing around the Lings. I mean, for the most part, a Protoss player with Chrono Boost should have the income advantage for the most part of the game. Then injects come in and it starts leveling out. But Bly has definitely had a lot more money to work with, so investing in these Lings is actually not so crazy because, well, first he has to defend against the Zealots, but secondly, that's the advantage he's earned through that harass.
And he knows that this is very light aggression. I mean, he had the Ling in there for quite a while. I guess technically gateways could be finishing up right now. But he hasn't seen a proxy pylon, and the gateway, the overload to see the double gas taken at the natural, so he just drones behind those small amount of lings.
Well, they are going to manage to sneak in here. Sadly, the stalker was not quite at the wall in time.
Yeah. Luckily for Jade, speed is on the way. Oh,
luckily, please do not use that word right now.
All right then.
This is about as crappy of an opener as they could get. You even just pick up the stalker right there. This suddenly means the Overlord can come in and there's nothing to shoot it.
Yeah, that is a huge deal. I mean, he's cornering out Blink right now, and it looks like Bly is going to see that. No other gateways though. He's going to feel pretty comfortable getting up to maybe even a higher drone count. He's already at 62. That's pretty comfortable.
Well, looks like he didn't actually see the Chrono go into the Blink, but he does know it's Blink. So this actually doesn't come off that strange. Oh, the cancel! This is the sort of stuff I love. This is the sort of stuff that works well. And you remember, actually, I'm thinking immediately back to the safety net. Oh, okay, hang on. I was gonna start talking about how State was doing some cool Chrono sell-up play, but this is actually just gonna be straight to charge that Archon.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, you know, back to State. But State used a Warp Prism. The Harass was surprisingly effective because there was charge. So even Hydras, like low amounts of Hydras, wouldn't be able to deal with it. But we're going up to straight up to the Archons, obviously doesn't have a Robo, so no Observer. That's going to sting a little bit. His scouting's going to be pretty lackluster, but there's also not going to be any Immortals or Colossus. It is just charge out Archon, and it can be very powerful, but also Fungals could absolutely destroy it. But Bly doesn't know, so he won't have Fungals.
I mean, if he tries to respond to this with even just Roaches, like, just Lings is going to be horrible, of course, but Roaches and Lings, Roaches aren't going to fare a whole lot better. I mean, the +1 upgrade is going to let these Zealots just chew through the Lings 2 shots instead of 3 shots. That's a lot of extra damage that goes out. And the Archons, of course, with that splash damage. Oh, this is just going to be... If Bly does not get... the Spire's on the way, but it's not going to be done in time for this.
Even if it was, I don't know how effective it would be. The thing is, like I was talking about last time,
Oh, that
right?
force
like,
field.
If the mutas are defending and they're in low enough numbers, 8 Stalker Warpins, because it's an all-in, you have a lot of gateways, might be enough to cover it, especially with any Archon. So, yeah, he knows it's an attack. He knows what attack it is as well. He's going to get a lot of Roaches.
It's a shame that there's no cannon here, because there's actually nothing to stop this, so he's now forced to build more pylons and warp in a sentry, get the force fields down. There we go, a couple cannons now coming out, but now pushing, and this is really a key that he is continuing to push. If he decided to wait and fall back and defend against these Lings, it takes away from the timing. And truth be told, the +1 weapons, the actual charge lots themselves, all of this is a really specific timing that catches Bly before he's got too much to defend with. That time warp's okay. Can try to land the force fields. Back at home, looks like the wall has been breached, though. The Forge is going to go down in a moment's time. Ooh. This actually might be it for Jade. He's got to do... Everything he has is on the other side of the map.
This is a really great counterattack, but he's cornering a lot of Roaches.
But that's the problem. Because he's just fighting Roaches, there's no threat to the drone lines.
Yeah.
Bly's not forced to worry about anything. He just takes an army value for army value, and he can trade this out all day due to his superior economy. He can keep making 16 Roaches at a time, and eventually he will just overpower Jade.
Yeah. The Stalkers aren't going to be helpful in this situation. I mean, it was charged on Archon. The Stalkers just...
It was a weird investment of gas, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess the argument... whatever. I don't know. GG.
Yeah, Bly will take the semifinals match and move on to the finals of the Lycan League.